Hey dude, you want to watch Shark Attack 3 Megalodon? Get out.
Alright, man. Thanks for the ride.
Get out. Dude, you know they're talking to Mel Gibson about directing Suicide Squad 2? Get out! Hey all you cinema buffs out there, Nate and Dennis here bringing you our review of Get Out, the new thriller written and directed by Jordan Peele. Mm-hmm. Jordan Peele is mostly known for his comedy show on Comedy Central, Key and Peele. Yeah. This is his directorial debut, and he's going a psychological thriller with it, going in a whole new direction.
This is not a comedy by any means.
No, it's a thriller, and it is definitely, you could classify it as a psychological thriller, because this movie dives into the mind, for those of you unfamiliar with the plot, a black man, Daniel Kaluuya, is dating this white woman played by Allison Williams, I believe her name is, and she takes him to her parents' house, like out in the country and everything, and he's starting to get this sense that there's something sinister going on, especially when it comes to the black people who inhabit this town as well.
Yeah.
And so the racially charged themes, once again, nothing new for Jordan Peele.
No.
But just to handle it in this different way, just like with his comedy, I think that there's great social commentary with this.
Is it a tight script? Did you like what he wrote?
I did. The pacing of the movie itself, there are a few moments where it's just a little slow. Like, it's kind of one of those things, you know, you've heard me gripe before about how movies take 20 minutes to end sometimes. And I feel this kind of falls into that. I mean, there is suspense at the end, and there is closure with the whole story.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the third act ran a little long.
Yeah, and I think that goes entail because I was really engrossed in the mystery of this film. Like, I really liked these hints, these little markers they put along the way of like, what is actually going on here? Mm-hmm. And then once I was wondering if, through the trailer, I was like, is this going to be one of those, like, piece it together yourself, it's going to have all sorts of interpretations, or is it going to wrap up in a nice little package? At first I wanted it to wrap up in a nice package. And then it kind of does, and I wish it would have left it a little bit more open. You know?
I agree. It does. Once again, the loop is closed on this movie.
Yeah.
But to have you leave you thinking, I think that's what the movie should have handled a little bit better, leaving you thinking a little bit more about it.
Yeah, and I think that it leaves you thinking on the social commentary of it and the racial commentary of it. It does make you look at certain situations in different ways, and also how certain situations are handled, especially in like social settings and public settings, because it's not just, it's funny that the main character feels uncomfortable around a lot of white people. You know, it makes him uncomfortable. He's glad to have other black people around. It makes him feel a little safer. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of a weird commentary that they go along with in this whole film.
Yeah, and there's all these, like, there's these social subtleties, just these little things that either the way they're said, or just like the verbiage of how people use, you know, when they're talking to people, especially when it's people that they're not familiar with.
Right.
And like there's these good moments of like veiled racism where these people don't appear to be racist, but the things they're saying pretty racist.
And it's not uncommon either.
No,
it's almost like these people have to overcompensate for this black person being there. Like,
exactly.
I love Tiger Woods. Yeah. I voted for Obama. Like,
I'd vote for Obama again if I could. That kind of stuff.
Like, and it happens so often, and the main character handles it so well, where he's just like, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Like, whatever. It's just, it's like he's so used to it, and it's upsetting, but also true at the same time.
Right. It is kind of like peeling back, you know, the layer a little bit, and, you know, exposing some real ugly truths about just the way that people act. And I think Daniel Kaluuya handled it very well. I think this guy carried this movie top to bottom, and he showed a lot of range.
Yep.
And not only was he good, I think the performances all around were good.
Bradley
Whitford, I love this guy and just about everything he's in, especially when he's playing a little asshole.
He's
like
such
the perfect
a weasel.
He's the perfect weasel of all time.
He's
Eric from Happy Gilmore, or not Happy Gilmore, but Billy Madison.
Yeah.
So you know who I'm talking about. Catherine Keener was great in it too.
Yeah, exactly. Catherine Keener. But going back to the main character, he did handle this so well. Mm-hmm. And man, there wasn't a moment that it didn't feel real. It just was a very, very natural performance. And I think he was the best part of this movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hands down. But yes, across the board, I was a little annoyed by the brother character. It was a little over the top. He was a little too much for me. I was like, take it easy. Like, just take it down a notch when it comes to the acting. But once again, Jordan Peele, direction. How do you handle the camera?
I think that this movie was shot very well. The technical aspects are all there, and they're all done pretty well. But there wasn't any like memorable moments, like oh, remember that shot or remember this sequence.
Yeah.
And I think that lends itself to the movie's message. It didn't want to be too distracting with getting all technical and just going into all these extravagant sequences. They wanted you to focus on the message, the dialogue, and what this movie's trying to tell you. Now, we won't go into any spoilers. We want you guys to see this movie.
Yeah.
And check it out and, tell us what you think about it. But I think that the way that the mystery is revealed, like you said, there's all these little tidbits thrown in there.
Yeah.
That you reference, you automatically remember once they're starting to unveil everything and show you what's really going on.
Yeah, and then there's little poke fun things that, like, I think Jordan Peele is having a little bit of fun. I mean, there's a point where he's showing around the house, and every little thing he says sort of seems to integrate a little poke at the guy a little bit. Like,
yeah.
Even when he's like, how's the base? Oh, you don't want to go down the basement. It's all black mold. And I was like, is he trying to do that? Or is he like, there was a lot of that in there. And there were some giggles from the audience, but I think Jordan Peele was looking for a giggle here and there.
Yeah, he wanted to keep it light, and he achieved that. And, there's some parts of the movie where you're laughing out loud. It's pretty funny stuff.
Yeah, his best friend, the character of his best friend, was the comic relief character.
Oh, yeah.
And handled it well.
And he was sprinkled in just enough.
If there was flaws to this movie, I think that it did slow down in the third act, only because the mystery building up to it was more interesting than the payoff. The payoff was pretty straightforward, and I wanted to think more at this movie.
Yeah, the mystery, yes, you're right. Building the mystery was good, and then when the revelation comes, it's not generic. It's not like, oh, you've seen it 100 times, but at the same time, it's not like that shocking or surprising.
Buff.
So without any spoilers, there's all of our thoughts on the film. Dennis, put a score to it.
Yeah, I had a good time with this movie. I think that, for Jordan Peele to step outside of the comedy genre and go into a thriller, I had low expectations. I'm like, does this guy really know what he's doing? And he did. And I think it shows, yes, the movie has some flaws, and yeah, the third act did kind of drag for me. But overall, I had a great time at this, and it gets me thinking and gets people talking, and I think that's the point of the movie, and it's achieved. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Wow, that's okay. I did have high expectations. If you watched our best worst of 2016, I really pinned this as the most original. Like, I'm looking forward to this original movie, and it did do its job. Jordan Peele's part, he was great as the director. I think the writing's pretty tight as well. I just wanted more. I just wanted to feel more. I wanted to think more. And I think there is things to think about in this film, but it just wasn't enough. But still, a good time at the theater. I'm going to go lower, though, with 6.5.
Buff.
So that's a review of Get Out. What did you guys think of the movie? Did you see it? I think this is a really good movie to sort of have a discussion on. And so leave all the comments below and everything. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We really always appreciate the support at Cinema Buffs.
Yes, and be sure to join me next week as Nate and I are going to have some long overdue vacation time coming up. So he's going to step out next week, and we're going to have a guest reviewer come in and review Logan with me. I'm so excited for this one.
I will see this movie on the Friday it comes out, but I will miss the review. So.
Yeah, so be sure to join us next week for that. But until then, don't forget,
there's no place like the theater. Hey everyone, Nate from Cinema Buffs. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. So click that subscribe button and become a Cinema Buff, and you can catch all of our videos as they're released. So thanks again for watching, and remember, there's no place like the theater.